We have a quick presentation on Judgment Day, judging the use of AI in the legal industry. Have two real-life examples of a couple cases that occurred recently, and this is just to help everyone with a little understanding and pose some questions that make you think a little bit more about artificial intelligence and how you use it. So anyway, let's get started. This is again Judgment Day, judging the use of AI. So the first story or example is called Lawyer Bond. And so a gentleman named Jerome Dewald requested the ability to use video because of a medical condition that he had that caused him to have struggles and not be able to present and talk for long periods of time. He actually ended up using an AI avatar created by Tavis to build a video that discussed and presented the oral argument for his case. This case involved an employment issue, and this was Jerome Dewald playing his own attorney, which now became the lawyer was becoming the attorney. And so let me go to the Register, which is where I read one of the articles. And the AI entrepreneur sent avatar to argue in court, and the judge shut it down fast. So basically, this was around April 2025. And again, Mr. Dewald was in an employment dispute with an insurance firm, and the insurance firm name was Mass Mutual Metro of New York. And at a hearing, he was before the U.S. State Supreme Court Appellate Division, and he wanted to present his oral arguments with AI. And so I don't think what probably occurred was he probably wasn't very clear and communicative. He was not transparent about what he was doing. And so this icon right here is a picture, or this image right here is a picture of the AR avatar that was used in the attempt to do these oral arguments. And please recognize that Mr. Dewald was representing himself. So now this AI avatar was trying to be his lawyer. All right, so that's my summary. It's kind of silly, but I think that's what it is. And then so he did clarify that he did ask for permission. The court said they were not prepared for this, and they were unaware. I believe Mr. Dewald did request to do a video oral argument, but I think he was not clear on how he was going to really do it. And some people say that this may have been an AI business stunt because he actually is an AI entrepreneur. Although Tavis is not his company, he is an AI entrepreneur, and it has something to do with pro se processes in the legal environment. And so anyway, so they shut him down, and he had to present on his own, and so that's the gist of that case. And so I think a little more communication and transparency might have helped prevent this. Dewald seemed like he thought he did the right thing. The court said they didn't know what he was talking about. The next one is a victim impact statement. So the family of Christopher Pelk wanted to present a victim impact statement, specifically his sister Stacy wanted to create a victim impact statement using a deep fake of Christopher. So Christopher was killed in, I guess, what you would call a road rage incident, and the person who killed him was found guilty, and now the next step was to have these victim impact statements. And so Stacy requested that she be allowed to use a deep fake. It was approved, and she provided that deep fake. And so they worked hard on the deep fake. They made it realistic as best as possible with today's technology. So it was Christopher's likeness. His voice was similar. His laughter and his emotions and his mannerisms were what the family may have described as close to the real Christopher. So the plaintiff, of course, and the plaintiff's attorneys did not like this. They felt like that it added extra time to his sentence based on the emotional impact of that, and they have filed a notice to appeal. The court did approve it. They listened. The story does have a little bit more content to it, so please look it up and make sure that you read the whole story before you jump to the conclusions that everything I say is correct, as with this one and with the Dewald one. And again, so they were clear. The family was clear. They said what they wanted to do. The attorneys for the plaintiff disagreed. and they have the ability to appeal. So the lawyer bot, Jerome Dewald, he did notify the court. He told them that he had a medical condition, told them that he needed to do a video of his oral argument. He says that that was approved. The court says that he was not transparent or clear enough or communicative enough to really tell them what he was planning on doing, and they stopped it before the oral argument even got really rolling. All right, so these are two cases that have actually occurred out in the wild right now, and there are other cases, and more cases are evolving. And so one of the things that people have to start thinking about is the use of AI ethically. And so when you purchase a product, or when you're at work and you want to use an AI product or a platform, a bot, an assistant, you have to think about how can you use it ethically. And so using it ethically involves a little bit of research and understanding the environment that you're using it in, what the repercussions are, the benefits and the disadvantages, and is it the right thing to use. And so sometimes when you're at work, some of these ethical questions would be, am I allowed to use it at work? Am I allowed to create what I want to create? Do I need to be transparent about it? Are there rules governing what I want to do? Those kind of questions. If you're actually building the AI product, then you need to start from the ground, from the very beginning. You need to ask questions about ethics and bias before you even start. You need to make sure that you have team members on board, like an AI ethicist, a committee, someone who can help govern and moderate and make sure that your company is doing the best they can ethically for this AI product. So some terms that you might want to learn as you're learning about AI, one is ethics, one is avatar bias. You might want to learn about the Department of Defense 5 principles and NIST AI risk framework. So let's see what we got here. So I went ahead and pulled up some of these terms. So according to IBM, what is AI ethics? AI ethics, ethics is a set of moral principles which help us discern between right and wrong. So it kind of helps you determine, is it the right thing to do, is it the wrong thing to do? AI ethics is a multidisciplinary field that studies how to optimize the beneficial impact of artificial intelligence while reducing risks and adverse outcomes. So that's really, it's kind of like your conscience. All right, so Avatar. Avatar has a unique, or I won't say unique, but it has it comes from a term called Sanskrit. So that's a word, Sanskrit word avatara, meaning descent. When Avatar first appeared in English in the late 18th century, it referred to the descent of a deity to the earth, typically the incarnation in an earthly form or of Vishnu or another Hindu deity. And so basically it's saying, hey, this avatar is an incarnation of human form. So that's where avatar comes. If you're looking at it in the real world, then you recognize it as a drawing, an image that represents a person. So bias, we're looking at we're going to look at the verb. So bias is to give, to apply slight negative or positive voltage to something, such as, maybe. And so, but bias really is, are you leaning towards one thing versus another? And so are you prejudiced against something? So if you like apples and you're a judge in a fair that has fruit and you have to judge the best fruit and apples are one of the fruits, you may be biased and you may pick the apple as the winner. So you have to know your biases when you're starting to learn about anything technology, but especially when you're trying to be the best person that you can be when it comes to AI ethics. And so the DoD 5 principles of artificial intelligence. So those 5 principles are responsible, equitable, traceable, reliable, and governable. So using it responsibly, is it equitable? Is it traceable? So do you know how it was created? Can you trace all that knowledge all the way back to the starting point and make sure that there's no magic black box in the middle that does something that you're not aware of? Is it reliable? Is it consistently reliable? So does it make mistakes? Maybe. But does it constantly make mistakes? And are those mistakes biased? And then governable. Is this something you have to be able to govern it and manage it? And so if you go to the DoD website, you'll see these broken down a little bit more for you. And then finally, the AI risk management framework. And so this is, NIST has created this. I think they're actually working on their second one. There is a playbook, a roadmap, a crosswalk, and various perspectives on their website that discuss this. So they're working really hard at trying to help people, organizations, and companies create responsible, ethical AI products and to use them ethically as well. So we are at the end of the talk, and let's see, the references that I used, you saw, NIST, the Register, IBM, U.S. Department of Defense, and NPR. And then for full transparency, since we're talking about transparency and full communication, I use Google Gemini and Google Slides to create the images. I use Google Gemini and Google Search to find the stories. And how I mean that is I actually remembered some of these stories, hearing them in the past. And so I just did a Google search and said, hey, can you refresh my memory on the case about XYZ? And then, of course, I like to use my bib to store my references, so we have to give them credit as well. And then, so we are at the end. Thank you for joining Judgment Day and judging the use of AI in the legal industry. Thank you. Bye-bye.